What common knowledge do we all know but is actually wrong? You lose half of your body heat through the top of your head. It's closer to about 7% of your body heat, which just so happens to be the same percentage of your body that the top of your head occupies. Yup, was it a military study? If you're bundled up everywhere but wear no hat, you lose a lot more heat than if you're... Yup, was it a military study? If you're bundled up everywhere but wear no hat, you lose a lot more heat than if you're also wearing a hat. If you're nude, wearing a hat or not makes little difference. George Costanza begs to differ. That your appendix is useless. It's not. It functions as an auxiliary defense for your digestive system and a reserve of good gut bacteria. It also sometimes gets randomly angry, tries to kill you and has to be removed. But it's not useless. My surgeon for my colon removal took my appendix out at the same time, wrote it as an accident for insurance purposes, bless him, because he said it would just pretty near immediately get infected and I'd be back on a year to give him a Porsche payment. Also did a hand puppet of it, but that's less relevant. This post makes me appreciate the NHS even more. When you cut a worm in half, you make 2 new ones. This is not true and you killed a perfectly good worm. This one is true but only for planarian flatworms. Most people think it applies to earthworms, which can regenerate from one half but not the other. And often it will just die. I had no idea. I killed so many worms as a kid. We used to ride them in half and throw them back in the garden thinking we were planting more worms. I'm so sorry. Heart attacks and cardiac arrests are the same thing. No, it's not, and TV gets it wrong all the time. Also, using a defibrillator on a flat line, if there is no electrical activity on the EKG, there is nothing to reset to normal rhythm. Last October I was in the hospital and during treatment time the P-doc said something about the time I had a heart attack. I told him I'd never had a heart attack and he asked what happened then. I said I'd gone into cardiac arrest a few times and he gave me the smuggest look I've ever seen on a person and said, same thing. I didn't feel like arguing, so I was like, just fine, fair enough, but internally I'm thinking, bro, you are a doctor. Been wanting to rant about that for a bit. Tilt head back when you're having a nosebleed. You can choke on your blood that way. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. They actually gave 6 months notice. To tack on fact to a greater joke, the Inquisition didn't torture Jews, Muslims, etc. At least not one that were openly those religions. They still were treated like crap, obviously, forced out of Spain for example, but the Inquisition only had power over self-possessed Catholics, so the people they actually grabbed were people who had publicly converted or were suspected of being secretly other religions. Also, burning alive was relatively rare. If people repented, they were generally punished, then sent on their way or, at worst, strangled and then burned after they were already dead. The gruesome burning alive was saved for those who refused to repent or who made really powerful enemies in the church, I imagine. That porn stars have foot-long... Oh boy, that porn stars have foot-long cocks. Most of the big ones are actually 7 to 9 inch long and claim to be 11 to 14. Shout out to our measured porn stars. What is big and what looks big aren't necessarily the same. A tall broader guy with an inch... I can't read this properly. A tall broader guy with an 8-inch D won't look as endowed as a shorter guy with a slighter build with the same size D. That no 2 fingerprints are the same. What, seriously? Then how are fingerprints ever used as evidence when there's a chance that 2 people have the same ones? While fingerprints can be duplicated, the odds of 2 people with identical fingerprints both being in the general vicinity of the crime scene is very low. Hey, we got 3 fingerprint matches to the murder scene, one in Minnesota, one in California, and one to a guy that lives 2 miles from here. It's gotta be the guy that lives along the Minnesota-California border. The Great Wall of China can be seen from space. I'm just like, it's a wall that's long. Highways are long, but we can't see them. Maybe if you ate your carrots you'd be able to. Long, straight, flat highways are actually the only human-made thing. You can see with your own feet, I was about to say, with your own eyes from space. Really low Earth orbit. But you still need to know where they are first, as they don't jump out at you. The Great Wall is built on rugged terrain and weaves all over the place, so there's no way you would be able to see it. You don't have to wait 24 hours to file a missing persons report. In fact, most police recommend you report immediately after the person disappears. You swallow 8 spiders a year. You don't know me. Shake a Polaroid picture to get it to develop faster. Just don't. It's impossible to resist despite not being effective. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. If you ask an undercover cop if they're a cop, they have to tell you the truth, or anything they find after that is inadmissible in court. Wouldn't that defeat the purpose if you're under investigation? Yes, that's why police departments encourage propagation of myth. In general, police are allowed to lie to get information they need. The worst thing they could say is no. No, they could emotionally nuke your ass for having the audacity to ask. Yeah, people act as if them saying no and looking disgusted isn't worse. It can be good advice depending on the person. If someone is a friend of the girl I'm asking out says the worst thing that will happen if she says no, that means you can trust them to be gracious. However, it's bad advice from someone who does not know the situation. That schizophrenia is not a multiple personality disorder. There's a controversy surrounding multiple personality disorder. Now it's called dissociative identity disorder also. Some wonder if it's even real. Really? I can tell people, from battling schizophrenia since 2010, that the way my personality has changed when my thinking got out of whack, like delusions about self, has felt like there was another person inside of me that took over. So I can understand the confusion. Getting down to the brass tacks of it, though, I don't think schizophrenia is another personality in me. I've come to think that the other person I can be is just warping the delusions and unusual and dysfunctional thinking that is commonly schizophrenia. Same personality, drastically different thoughts and beliefs, but still the same personality. That's my layman's take on difference. I've only had 9 years to experience and learn about it, but I don't even have a master's in psych, much less a doctorate, so I draw the line at just personal experience and non-expert's opinion. I let the professionals grind out the rest. Oil is made from dead dinosaurs. Not exactly, it's actually super old and very dead plankton. Guess he never got the formula. Jesus looked like a guy from Middle East, not Norway. What? You mean my white American Jesus with an AK-47 is all a lie? An AK-47, what kind of heresy is this? Jesus obviously used an M60 because he loves freedom. You shouldn't go swimming shortly after eating. Actually, the thing you should avoid swimming after is drinking alcohol, okay? That fortune cookies are a Chinese tradition. Actually, fortune cookies are an American creation, most likely originating in San Francisco. To take pills more easily, tilt your head back as you swallow. What actually happens is tightening and elongating your throat, allowing a smaller, shrunken area for the pill to pass through. Doing the opposite, tilting your head inwards towards your chest, increases the circumference of your throat passage, allowing pills to more easily be swallowed. That colds are caused by the actual weather or by not wearing socks indoors. They are caused by a virus. There's an edit. Thanks for making this the most liked comment I have posted so far. We only use 10% of our brain. I think we only use 10% of our hearts. Cracking your knuckles gives you arthritis. We only have 5 senses. I'll name a few more. Sense of balance, temperature, proprioception, no idea what that is, and like 20 others. And touch is a ton of different senses. Skin deep, nerves, inside muscles, pressure, pain, movement, etc. So apparently there's a whole page called List of Common Misconceptions on Wikipedia where you can scroll through and see all the common knowledge, quote unquote, that we have that we thought is correct but actually isn't. It's a whole long list. You can check it out if you go to Wikipedia and type in List of Common Misconceptions. I'm not gonna go through all of them. Maybe I would. That would make a great video, I think. But if you can see, if I can just keep going. There's transportation, psychology, economics, physics, mathematics, inventions. There's all different type of themes in here, and I think the list keeps going and going because it will only increase after a while. So let's see. 1. Middle Age and Renaissance. It's true that modern life. Nope, I'm not reading that. Anyway, you can visit it yourself. And that's it for today's Ask Reddit video. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel, as it greatly helps me out and I'll appreciate your support. And also all the Redditors that have posted comments are credited in the description box. Until tomorrow.